everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and today we're on our 5th session with the beginners balances, and for this class we will be concentrating on what they call the extended hand to big toe pose. And this pose is a standing balance, and it stretches out the hamstrings and hips, inner thighs, and the adductor muscles, those inner thigh muscles, and strengthening the back and the arms. What's great about this practice today is that we'll be doing the actual posture on our backs. So when we get to the actual standing posture, we'll be all ready for it. Lots of stretching out of the hamstrings today, strengthening of the back. The theme for today, the mantra for today, is to think big. And this comes from a personal story that I had with one of my students that actually lives in California. And she was surprised years ago with this note from a stranger, actually, that was written on a magazine that said "Think Big," and I just happened to see it. She showed it on Facebook, and I thought to myself, you know what? That's something that. How often do we think big? We tend to think. I'm saying in general, think small, or think of that we have these limitations. Or we think, okay, this is where we can only. This is what I don't want to do anything more because I'm doing enough as it is. But thinking big doesn't add extra to your life. It just gives you that perspective that you can believe in yourself. It's about believing in yourself, thinking rather than living small all the time. Think big. Think, and the first place to start is physically. Do things bigger. Open up, expand. Feel it on a physical level, then you can start to feel it, experience your life in a different way. So that's our mantra for today, think big. Okay, let's take just a moment sitting in our cross-legged seat, recommending a strap, some type of strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, then grab a scarf or a belt, anything that you can use for this stretch we will be doing on the ground. Let's sit up nice and tall for the first few moments. Close your eyes, sitting up tall, feeling the whole sense of rooting down with your sit bones, and then rising up through the crown of the head, and experiencing that sense of thinking big or being big, being larger, wider, expansive. Not in a weight terms, but in just expanding your horizons through your physical body. And let's just take a few deep breaths in and a few breaths out. Let yourself explore the expansiveness of your rib cage and the lungs as you breathe in. And then the sense of pulling in and exhaling, so pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Let's take a few more deep breaths in and breaths out. Then gently open your eyes, and we will be coming onto our backs. Keep the strap near you, and if you don't happen to have anything, don't worry about it. You don't need it, absolutely need it. It's just helpful. I want you to stretch your arms away from the legs. We call this a wake-up stretch. Whatever time of the day, let's just wake up our bodies, stretch through the feet, stretch through the arms, lift up through your lower back, and then exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees or nose to knees, And then lay the feet back on the ground with the knees pointing upwards. Knees are hip distance apart. Take your hands behind your head. We'll start with a few abdominals. These abdominals will wake up your core muscles so that you can actually balance easier. You'll have the heat and strength to be able to hold yourself in balances. Elbows angle in towards each other. Now from here, you're going to keep your feet on the ground for some, and the other people, you can lift your legs up. You can do it either way. If you want to understand how to do this in the most basic level, you can start with the first class of this series. Take your elbows are angled in towards each other, feet are either down on the ground or at a 90-degree angle. Take an inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Look towards your belly button. Hold the breath, lift your tailbone up, and exhale. Either keep your knees where they are or straighten the legs. Reach the arms towards, the elbows towards the ceiling. Legs are on a diagonal. And then inhale, rebend the knees, lower the tailbone down, and come to the upper part of your shoulders. This whole time, keep the head up off the ground. Holding the breath, lift the tailbone, exhale, elbows reach towards the ceiling, looking towards your tummy, and either straightening the legs or keeping the knees bent, or feet are flat on the ground. And then inhale, lower the tailbone down, and lower back down just a little bit to the upper part of your back. Holding the breath, exhaling, elbows reach up, lift your tailbone up, and then either straighten the legs. And then inhale back to neutral, lower the tailbone down. And then let's do one more set. Lift up, hold the breath, exhale, elbows lift up a little bit higher, and then straightening the legs maybe. And let's hold one full breath here. Inhaling, lifting the tailbone a little bit more, and exhaling. And then hug the knees into your chest. You will find that you hardly can, especially in that shape with your legs off the ground, it's very difficult to lift. Your tailbone won't come up that far. It'll be almost imperceptible, but you'll feel it just a little bit. Take your feet back on the ground. Let's just take a deep breath in to the rib cage and exhale. Now the next exercise is just the abdominal, is the exact same thing except we're crossing our right leg over our left. Options here, feet stay on the ground as I'm doing it now, or lift the legs up, 90-degree angle. Or the third is to, if you can tuck your right foot underneath your left shin, then you can stay there. These are the three options. Hands behind your head again, cradle the head in your hands, elbows angle in towards each other. Take a breath in, lift your head and shoulders off the ground, hold the breath, pick your tailbone up a little bit easier in this position, and then exhale, elbows reach towards the ceiling, looking towards your tummy. Keep your knees above your hips, don't bring the knees in towards you, and then inhale, lower the tailbone down, and just come to the upper part of your shoulders. Lifting the tailbone, holding the breath, exhale, elbows reach up, and then inhale, lower the tailbone down. Holding the breath, lift the tailbone up, exhale, elbows towards the ceiling. This is the last one on this side. Inhale, lower all the way down to the ground, head and feet, uncross your legs. And take a pause here for just a moment. Hands stay behind your head. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then this time, left leg crosses over your right. First option, foot on the ground. Second option, lift the feet up to a 90-degree angle. Third option, you can stay here, but tuck that left foot behind your right leg. Take a breath in, lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone off the ground. Exhale, elbows reaching upwards, looking towards your thighs or your belly button. And then inhale, just lower the tailbone down. Come down just a little bit with your head. Then holding the breath, lift your tailbone again. Exhale, lift the shoulders up. Working these deep transverse abdominis muscles, lower the tailbone down. Let's do one more set, holding the breath. Lift your tailbone. Exhale, elbows reach, 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 reach. Pull the belly in and then lower everything down. Head down, uncross your legs, and bring your knees into your chest. These, you might be feeling these intensely, these abdominals, or you might be only feeling them subtly, but they're very powerful stretches. Let's swing around. Oh, sorry, stay down. I'm taking you up too quickly. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your right knee into your, keep your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg on the ground. Now from here, this is where we need the belt. Belt up, strap up that right foot on the ball mound of that right foot. Both, you have a strap in each hand. Inhale, bend your right knee. Bring that heel as close into your body as possible. And then exhale, straighten your right leg, hamstring stretch. Inhale, right knee into your chest, and exhale, straighten your right leg. Let's hold this stretch. Push through the right heel, draw the toes in towards your shins. Soften the shoulders down. Not all of us are able to keep our legs straight and reach it as high as I'm doing it. So you can drop your leg down a little bit until it's straight. And then take your both straps in the right hand, left hand on the left hip, and open that right leg out to the side. This is the shape of our standing pose that we're doing in a moment. Now, from here, you can actually grab hold of your big toe if you'd like, if you can. If you can't, most of us can't. So keep the strap, right strap in your right hand. But if you are able to grab that big toe, grab the big toe and make sure that left hip doesn't move. If it starts to move, lift up, then bring your right leg closer to your body. Then inhale, lift your right leg towards the sky again. Both straps in the left hand, right arm out to the side, and cross your right leg over your body to the left. You can come as far as until your right shoulder, once that begins to lift off the ground, then you might need to bring that foot a little bit closer to your body. Turn your gaze to the right, breathing in and breathing out. This is stretching out your hip muscles, the abductor muscles, so the outer edges of those hips. Lift your right leg back up and take the strap off of that foot. Hug both knees into your chest. Maybe also add a nose to knee and then lower your head down. This time, hug your left knee into your chest, extend your right leg on the ground as if you're standing on the ground. Strap up your left foot. This is a preparation for that standing pose. Once the strap is on the ball mount of your left foot, hug your left knee into your chest, take an inhale and exhale, straighten that leg. You will feel this behind your knee. Inhaling the knee into your chest and then exhale, straighten the leg. And push through the left heel, draw the toes towards you. If you can't straighten the leg properly, if you find that you're really struggling straightening the leg, then just drop the leg a little bit lower down to the ground. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, take both straps in the left hand, right hand on your right hip as a way to anchor your right bottom cheek down so it doesn't lift up. Drop your left leg out to the left. And as far as what's comfortable without until make sure that both sit bones are on the ground. If you want to, and you're able to actually, if you're able to, grab a hold of that left big toe. This is the position we'll be in when we come up. Take a breath in, soften the shoulders down, stretching out the inner thighs, the adductor muscles, and then lift your left leg back up. Take the straps in your right hand, left arm out to the side, shoulder stays on the ground, left shoulder, and cross your left leg over your right leg. As far to the right as you are comfortable doing so, stretching out all these outer muscles of that outer hip. And then inhale your left leg up. And then take the strap and place it on the side. Hug your knees into your chest, forehead to knees, and then take a breath in. Now we're able to roll up. Swing around on our hands and knees. I was ahead of myself. Once on your hands and knees, press back into a child's pose, knees open, big toes touching. Keep your arms long here and active. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Exhale completely here. Inhaling and then going. See if you can empty the lungs completely. Take a breath in and then a. Getting rid of all the tension that you're accumulating in your body. Inhaling into your tabletop. Place your knees under your hips, wrists are under your shoulders. Let's do it just a few cats and cows, 2 sets. Exhaling into your cat. Inhaling into your cow, tilting your tailbone up. Exhaling, rounding through that spine into your cat. And then inhaling into your cat. This is something we do in most classes. Curl the toes under, press back in pretty much all yoga classes. There's postures you'll be doing on a regular basis. And press now with the toes curled under your bottom to the heels. If you want a little bit extra, walk your hands up and place your hands on your thighs. Now you're sitting on your heels. Now what I mean by extra, you'll be feeling a lot of probably discomfort in those feet. Unless you've broken your toes, this is actually a very good stretch for your toes, even though it's not the most comfortable for sure. And then take an inhale, lift off your heels and then flatten out the tops of the feet. Take a breath in, reach your arms up, come into a mini back bend, opening up the front of the chest and then placing your hands back on the ground. Once on the ground, curl the toes under, exhale, downward dog. Bring your left foot in towards your right foot. And let's inhale your right leg up to the sky. And you can do this on your hands and knees. You don't have to be in a downward dog. Take your right leg and stack it over your left leg. Bend your right knee. Doing this with your knee down is you just do the exact same thing. Then re-straighten your right leg and square the hips to the ground. Take a breath in and bring your knee in towards your nose into your knee. Come onto your left toes and step your right foot between your hands. You're now in a lunge. Lower your left knee down. Put something underneath your knee if you need to, either with blocks or without. I'll do mine with blocks this time. Come into a lunge. So your knee is forward but above your ankle, and you're pressing into that left hip and you're opening up the chest simultaneously. It's a very gentle back bend. Now from here, exhale, fold over your right leg, straightening your right leg. You can do this without the blocks. Inhaling, rebend, opening up your heart, opening up that left hip, squeezing your legs in towards each other. Then exhale, fold over. Then inhale, curl the back toes under, back into your lunge, step forward into a forward bend. And let yourself settle here for just a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Take an inhale, slide the hands up the shins, and exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart. Then take a breath in, reach your arms up. Little mini back bend, exhale, swan dive all the way down, forward bend. Take an inhale halfway, step back into your downward dog, or some of us will be in an extended child's pose due to wrist issues or whatever it might be. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, come into your plank. Many of us might need to lower the knees down, especially if you're new to this, or you're having one of those days. Now from here, knees down or up, come onto your right forearm and the left forearm. And then hold this plank. It's a forearm plank. You can lower the knees down or pick the knees up. Looking down towards the ground. Make sure elbows are under your shoulders. Take a breath in. Press your heels back and tailbone towards your heels. Lower the knees to the ground and then lower your belly to the ground and take a breath in and lift your chest forward, squeezing your bottom cheeks. Then exhale, slide your hands next to your chest, lift back up into your extended child's pose, press back. And then inhaling into either your all fours or downward dog. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, right foot in towards your left foot, left leg up to the sky. You can do this on all fours as well, okay? Lift your left leg up and then stack your left leg over your right, opening up that left hip, bending your left knee. And then inhale, re-straighten your left leg. Square the hips to the ground, breathe in and bring knee to nose either on all fours or in downward dog, and then exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Lower your right knee down. Place something underneath your knee if you need it, either with blocks or not. Fingertips on the ground or the blocks, inhaling into your lunge and then exhaling, folding over your left leg. Inhaling, lunge, opening up your hip joint. A slight back bend as your chest telescopes forward. Then exhale, fold over your left leg. Now we're stretching out the backs of our legs. And then inhaling, re-bend your left knee, curl the back toes under. Blocks can be placed to the side. I always suggest putting blocks at the front of the mat, and then stepping your right foot forward, come into a forward bend. Now from here, you have an option. You can stay in a forward bend or take it a little bit further and squat down. And this is called garland pose in yoga. Now, not all of us can actually come down with flat feet. You could always sit on a block if you need it for support. Or, we'll do it that way. And then let's fold over, forward fold. Heel toe the feet until they're hip distance apart. Take an inhale, lift, press into those shins. And then exhale, forward fold. Then let's inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Now, as you're standing here, eyes closed for a moment, with the hands at the heart center, I want you to connect with the ground, with the earth. We always say the earth in yoga. But as you root down into your mat, feel that sense of being supported by the ground, and then lift up through the crown of your head simultaneously. Root and rise. And I want you to think of that as we now move into our standing pose. Okay, I'm going to spin around so you can see what we're doing here. We're going to take our right knee and hug it into our chest. You can always have a wall near you to use as a support or a chair. Now from here, just take your right hand, place it on the outside of that right knee, flex your right foot. Your hand on the hip or on a wall, you can stay right here. For many of us, that's enough. The other option is to take the right hand, either the big toe, bind the big toe, or the ankle. Bring that heel in. First, get yourself stabilized, and then maybe you can straighten your leg, or it might not straighten. It might be a bent. And breathe in, looking towards something on the ground with a soft gaze, keeping that gaze soft, and let the breath flow. And then take an inhale, lower, bring that right leg back in and lower it down. And just loosen up the hips a little bit. You'll notice the heart rate will naturally speed up. Right leg now is your support leg. Bring your left knee into your chest. This, you might find you cannot hold yourself up. for any length of time, or maybe just 1 second. That's the beginning step. Take your left hand on the outside of that left knee, open up out to the side, flex the foot, right hand either up to the sky, maybe on a wall. This might be as far as you're going. Otherwise, those that can want to go a little step further, grab hold of your left big toe. First stabilize, and then open that leg. And it might be straight, it might be bent. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, rebend your left leg and lower down. Thinking that you might not be there yet with a straight leg. That's what this is all about. It's working. It's a practice. We're working towards it. Forward fold. Notice the heart. The breathing is a little bit faster. So I want you to slow down. Step back into your downward dog. Stretch out. And deepen the breath. Let out the air out the mouth. Empty the lungs. Let's begin to slow our breathing down. Come onto that right hip. Swing your legs forward. What happens when we're doing these poses, our bodies become tense. What we want to learn how to do is relax, but be strong and relaxed at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Reach your arms forward and lower yourself onto your backs. And hug your knees into your chest. Whew. Extend your left leg on the ground. Place your right foot on your left thigh. Arms out to the sides, or you could take your left hand and help your right knee cross over your left and come into a spinal twist. Only your right foot will most likely be touching the ground. Both shoulders resting comfortably on the ground. Turn your gaze to the right. Get the breath a little bit slower, evening out the breathing. Inhale and exhale. And then coming back onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest, maybe nose to knees. And then let's extend your right leg, arms out to the sides, right foot on your left thigh. Maybe take that right hand, help your knee drop towards the ground, and then turn your gaze to the right. So they hold a concept of thinking big. Picking, as I mentioned earlier, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe carry that around with you for a little bit. Let that absorb into you, what that means to you to think big. Extend your left leg to the left corner of the mat, right to the right. We're settling now into our Shavasana, which is the final resting pose. Let your eyes close. Allow the whole body to just melt into the mat. For the next 2 to 5 minutes, allow yourself to just be. Nothing more to do. Now I can't, because of the limits of the class, I can only do a minute or so of this. Otherwise, I will let you remain in your Shavasana for another few minutes. And I will seal the practice. And if you're a YouTuber doing this on YouTube, you can always turn me off and then stay, so you don't immediately get fed another video, which happens. But for those who are doing it live with me, I end up turning off the machine so that you can continue on. So as I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal the practice for today, for this 5th session, thank you so much for being with me. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. Have a lovely, lovely evening, day, whatever time of the day you're doing this. Namaste. And just to remind you to subscribe if you're interested in more videos. Just press that little button on the right-hand side and comment. That would be wonderful. And thumbs up. Otherwise, thank you so much. See you soon.